Lubbock, though being well known for its roots in the agriculture industry, does not have as much fame for its fruits and vegetables. For most of the year, its climate does not allow for too much of a unique blend of edible agricultural products. But recently, there has been a bit of a rise in the capturing of a new local take on fruits and vegetables. So, in this episode of In Depth, we take a look into the rising culture of farmers markets and some of the families and friends who help establish them.
Sometimes you do stuff because it's just in your blood. I've had, grandparents, great-grandparents, uncles that are ranchers or farmers. His grandparents had, large farm in Nebraska. So it's kind of in the blood.
Every year is different. We one year we'll have a bumper crop in one thing and think, hey, this is great, and plant it again next year, and it's not as good as the year before. Mm-hmm. Lubbock has got a really weird situation. We have fruit trees that'll blossom out, and one year we'll get fruit, next year we won't. So it's just a smorgasbord. We get what the good Lord gives to us.
High winds play a big, part into it because of a lot of times that they'll knock down crops, they'll knock down fruit off of trees before they're ready to be harvested. So that plays a big part into it.
We sit back and we'll say, okay, we're going to plant 10 rows of zucchini. So we'll plant a row of zucchini and we'll wait 2 weeks. And we'll plant another row of zucchini. And we'll wait 2 weeks and plant another row of zucchini. So by the time the first one starts producing, we're planting our last row. And by the time this one is ready to produce, these here have already run their course of their life and they're dying. So they start dying out, and then they start dying out. By that time, we start planting our winter crop, which we alternate. So we try to put a gap, a 2 to 3 week gap in between every row that we plant. We've had people tell us there are some things we're growing here, you'll never get that to grow in Lubbock.
And we did.
And we've got them to grow. So that's in our everyday order form. Every fall when we order again, we know what to order.
Well, I think we do a little research, being an editor, and I also I have a master's in library science. So I tend to do the research. And so when we come up with, we'll look at seed catalogs and he'll say, oh, let's try that. I then, before we order, I do research on, exactly where the seed came from, what's the native habitat. I try to find, a lot of times I'm able to find farmers that have grown it, talk to them, see if it's in the same zone, growing zone, whether it's elevation or climate. And then it's like, okay, because there's sometimes I've talked them out of it and gone, this is not going to grow here. It's just not, because it's not even close to where the seed came from. But then there's others that it's like this year we experimented with one, and we're going to do it again next year because we think it may do well. So I think the one thing we all have in common, besides the love of just dirt, getting and growing things, is that we have, I guess, a servant attitude as far as we like being able to do something that is a betterment for our neighbors, our community. And I think so that's what a lot of us have in common. Because, talking about local food, and Ray mentioned, we don't use chemicals. We are out there hoeing, so when we take you out to the fields, some fields are a little bit weedier than others because we hadn't, we try to stay on top of stuff, but things happen and we accidentally turn our backs for a week and the weeds don't stop growing.
Or it rains.
And
it gets too wet in the field. But we mainly hand weed the entire crop out there. And what we use are hoop hose, mm-hmm. which we just scrape them across the top of the ground and break off the tops of the roots, so it exposes the roots and it kills the weeds. So it gets, as long as you keep the weeds down so it doesn't interfere with the growth of the plants, mm-hmm. then it's okay. The roots, they don't really matter as long as they keep the tops of the weeds down. That's all we look at. We start picking on a Monday to sell on Saturday, and whatever we have left over, if there's anything left over, we either give to a food bank or to another farmer that may need. We've kind of coordinated together with our the different farmers at the market, and we try not to grow the same things.
Okay.
We've got some farmers that will grow just lettuce, and that's what they thrive on, lettuce. And we grow a few other things. Other farmers will grow other things that we don't grow. So it's not 15 people out there the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because nobody would sell anything.
Right.
So everybody tries to have something a little different at their market, so everything is viable to sell.
But as far as for why local food, people I think are becoming more interested in being healthy, and they know that if they can buy it local and they know where it's coming from, they know they can actually talk to the farmer and say, okay, what do you what do you do or not do on your farm to keep things growing? You know, that makes them feel good. And then also to the taste. Have you ever had a strawberry where you bite into it and it's
green
white,
in the middle,
or it's white
in the
on the
middle?
inside? It's red, but it's white, and there's no taste. Okay, come and taste our strawberries in April.
Yeah,
They're solid red all the way through.
they are picked green at the store before they take them to the store, so they can ripen on the way. Because if they ripen, to pick them ripe at the vine, the time they get to the market, they'll be spoiled.
And you know,
So-
they're coming from California or Mexico or someplace else, so the distance, they have to figure that out, and that's why they are picked early.
Yes.
Here, they are picked within that week. You know, we don't pick our strawberries until we know, okay, this is who needs them, so this is when we're going to pick them.
So we have local deliveries at the grocery stores. Then we have Texas deliveries, which are grown somewhere in Texas, which we have. I know United has got different farmers that say it's grown in Texas. Well, it is, but they're down in the Pecos Valley or they're whatever. And then we have local farmers, which is right here in Lubbock. They grow it. You know, you go to the grocery store and it says we have local watermelons. Well, local, we can't have watermelons here until June or July, and here in the market they've already got them in May. No place in Lubbock can you have a watermelon unless you're growing it in a hothouse. Now, if you have hothouse, that's different, and that's one thing I'm looking into is maybe putting a big greenhouse out here just for one winter crop. So we're looking at some hoop houses, high power hoop houses that Texas Tech is using right now. Russ
Wallace at
Wallace.
the Ag Extension.
He's using high tower hoop houses, and he's growing blackberries and strawberries, and he has those ready in February, March. So we're looking at partnering with him and some other people with high towers, and maybe put one or two out here, so we can have crops that will grow during the wintertime also. If we have fruits and stuff available all year round, that'll be a whole lot better for us. Farmers markets don't go all year round because most of the farmers can't support it. But if we have it and have it available, then we'll put out emails and stuff and on Instagram to come and pick up what they need.